let Sinister be the first con that they go to that he doesn't have to go, oh, nobody asked that dumbass question that everybody's asked for the last 30 years. I think he's been asked. We're all good, right? We know he is supposed to be. Should we all say it together? I'm just going to tell him midway through the interview, I got to go, I got a hockey game. Well, it's going to be on the roof now. Today, I'm responsible for 12. I don't know about anybody.
Who said that? Are we ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege in order to announce to you the stars of Clerks, Clerks 2 and Clerks 3, Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson! Sorry for giving you the Death Trap of Chords chair there, Brian. It's all right. All right. Oh, the hell.
Anybody ever been to any of our panels anywhere before?
Anybody?
Anybody seen us before? All right. So this is the first time we're probably doing this shit sober.
It is.
This is the first time sober?
Yeah.
It is.
Wow.
Why?
Should I go get shots?
asking
first?
ourselves. No, you can't. It's a Masonic temple, bro. Your fucking house will burn down, your car won't start. Next thing you know, you were part of the JFK assassination.
So I shouldn't have been smoking.
Yeah, and even me telling you this, I'm probably gonna get whacked on the way out of here. So you don't fuck with the Masons, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 things you just found out. Don't fuck with the
fuck with
Masons, and never talk shit about Suge Knight. No.
Oh, I know that.
No.
That's a long time ago.
And never stand in front of Jason Mewes.
Yeah.
I won't elaborate.
I walked into the restroom after him. Walked
Yeah.
right back out again.
You stand in front of Jay Mewes with your back to him, that's considered consent.
I love you guys. I love you guys so much.
Love you too. It's so funny. Pride Month. Look at you.
We should probably wrap this up right there.
Just right there. Just
I
all
love
right.
you guys.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
All right.
By the way, if anybody's holding on to a bag of unpopped popcorn, get the fuck out of this room because they're about to start popping. Jesus Christ, could it be hotter in here?
Easily. Yeah. No. We have
I'm tempted to get a fucking thing of Pillsbury fucking muffins and just unpop it and leave it at the end of the table. By the end of it, we have fucking dessert.
No, that happened earlier. I started out thin. This all puffed out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Sure. Somebody will buy that somewhere.
I'm sure if we survive today.
If we make it through without melting, that would be the thing. I
Look,
know.
is this yours?
This is my poster I brought from home.
Okay.
To
There's
show
a fucking table for that,
I
right?
showed everybody this because my first question was, does anybody speak French? Good, I can show you this.
Oh, right on.
So, yeah, this hangs in my home, and I have people in my life that have walked by this numerous times, never knowing what it was, and then one person who spoke French showed up last week and went, what the fuck does that say?
They spit in your face like, this is horrible.
They were, when I translated part of it, they were very offended at me.
Oh, stop it, you're ruining my language. Shoving pencils in his ears.
Wouldn't be the first time. Usually it was teachers that did that. So I could ask you 1,000,001 questions about Clerks. I know everybody here has lots of questions. I like to get into some of the conversation about everything outside of what we mainly know them from. If that's okay.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, just say
Good luck with that. You and I were already talking about what tile color I should have in my house.
That is true.
And you told me you don't really care for spicy food.
That is true.
Yeah, see?
Now I'm done. See you later.
We're already getting to know each other.
I was wondering what that voice out of your hotel room last night was. Now I know.
That
All
was
right.
me, yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. It was really warm then, too. That's what it was.
No, the hotel AC actually fucking works. So.
Does it? We're all going to go to their hotel
Oh,
and
yeah.
finish this panel, if that's cool with everybody here. I want to begin with madness in the method.
Oh, that's Jay tomorrow. What the fuck?
No.
you asking?
I want to ask you, because one of my favorite things to watch an actor do is get to play a stylized version of themselves.
I would say douchey, but okay, stylized, we can go with that.
Well, douche is a style.
Yeah,
That
sure.
was the style that was picked.
Yeah.
I just got to know, how much fun is it playing an over-the-top, just not you version of you entirely?
First of all, it wasn't acting, it was just me. Just me being me. No, it was fun. Working with Jay as a director, first of all, was a blast. We were shooting a film, Madness in the Method, I think I have one copy left at my table, is about an alternate universe where Jay Muse is having problems because he's getting typecast in auditions in Hollywood of always being the stoner, stupid friend, or the stoner this. So he goes to Kevin, he's like, fuck man, I can't get into the movies. They all just want me to play like a Jay role. And so Kevin goes, well, what you should do is do like a real actor does. They study, they study. Like, you know, Matt Damon has this book about method. You should learn method. What the fuck's method? And he's like, no, it's a style of book. So he finds out who owns this book of method acting, and it's like this really kind of tome of acting. And he gets the book, and what Jay does whenever he gets attached into anything, Legos, you know, gaming on Fortnite, whatever, he goes full force into it. So he learns method, and there's a secret book, and then he wants to be part of this big movie that Brian O'Halloran is now directing called The Odyssey. Right. And so he's trying to come to me like, yo man, put me in your movie. And I'm like, Jay, I mean, sure, I could have you audition for something, sure. And it's all this kind of fun shit. So it's got a ton of people. We shot in LA. I shot most of my stuff in England. The producers are from England, so we shot in England, which was awesome. And it had like Danny Trejo, like really a bunch of really great people in it. It's a fun ride. And I got to play this really douchey version of me, which is fun. It just amped up the...
You play a lot of douchey parts of yourself.
Yeah, I did. I should have a fucking Massengill.
Talk about typecasting.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun working with Jay. A lot of people really enjoyed seeing that alternate universe of Jay. I'm not going to spoil it, but he's very fucking funny in it.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Trejo is playing a type. You'll never see Danny play this type of character ever again. Was hilarious in the movie. Kevin makes an appearance. Harley Quinn makes an appearance. Casper Van Dien, and the list. What's her name? Dean Cain is in it, and what's her name?
What's her name is Dean Cain?
No. Well, Lois and Clark. Lois.
Terry
Hatcher.
Hatcher.
Terry Hatcher plays his agent. It's a lot of funny. So if you get a chance, like I said, I have one copy left of my thing. I think you can watch it for free. If you go to any of my social media link tree, will send you to a free link.
Send you over to it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, your performance in it, you seem to be having just an absolute blast in that one. A polar opposite of another performance I want to mention and talk about your role in Vulgar.
Yeah. Vulgar. Anybody see that out there? Claw. There you go. All right. It's a very twisted, dark movie. Written, directed.
He's a douchey clown.
No. In that regard, Brian Johnson plays the douche. Funny enough. Yeah, it's a dark, twisted story about a young man who's a party clown for kids, not making enough money. So he decides to be a party clown for adults. And his first gig goes horribly wrong. And you see the repercussions of what happens afterwards. I'm not going to spoil it. It's not a first date movie. No. It is not a, hey, let's watch a movie after Thanksgiving with Grandma movie. It is not a movie for the weak-hearted. When we were promoting it, when Howard Stern was still on free radio, Howard said to Brian Johnson and Kevin, he's like, look, man, I got to tell you, halfway through this movie, I had to stop watching it. And he's like, whoa, not because it sucked, but because it was so fucking twisted. And we were like, really? And so the advertising from that point on, a movie so disturbing even Howard Stern couldn't finish. Yeah. And now it used to be my #1 seller of DVDs at my table. It's been a while since the last pressing came out, so I don't have any more copies. But there have been a couple of fans who brought their copies for me to sign. There's two versions. There's a rated R version because back in the day, there used to be a store where you'd have to go get movies from called Blockbuster. Kids ask your grandparents about it. Anyway.
It's like a 3D printed iTunes store.
And so it was called RST.
Yeah. Exactly. So we did a rated R version to get into Blockbuster because Blockbuster took nothing harder than an R. And then there's the unrated theatrical version. That's the one you should go and see if you find it on whatever streaming service it may be on. So, but thank you. He talked about doing a sequel, and the sequel sounds really interesting for 25, 30 years later. So
Really?
I hope we get to do it because it's even darker. You know, if you want to say that. Yeah. You would think like, how can you get darker than what happens to you?
Yeah.
And like, you'll see.
I'm trying to figure out how, but yeah, that kind of hurts my brain because of the last time I watched it.
Think of it. It's funny because when the Phoenix version of the Joker movie came out,
Yeah.
so many people reached out on social media like, "Yo, this is very much like vulgar." Or, Brian Johnson needs to sue somebody because this is very vulgar-like. And I was like, "Hey, listen, I'm a fan. If he wants to emulate things that were from that movie, I'm honored to do that." So.
Yeah. Jeff, I want to talk about in Clerks 3, you get to play a director, and in the directing of that scene, I'm trying very hard not to spoil anything from Clerks 3 because I know not everybody here has seen Clerks 3, correct? Last thing I want is for them to be at this panel and have my fat ass say something dumb. So when you're playing a director, from your personal experience of directing on Now You Know, how much of that, you being completely different from Randall anyway, but how much of that were you able to bring in, or how much of that made sense in the moment?
None of it. No, I couldn't even draw on my own experience from being a director because I hardly remembered that. So it was not a stretch for me.
Okay. Now, also with Clerks 3, you famously have gone on record in 2 and 3 before production saying, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
Yes. This time I am done, I swear.
I get that. You said that Clerks 1, you said that Zach and Miri, you said that Clerks 2.
Well, actually, that's not true. I
Okay.
did say I would sign up for Clerks 4 immediately if Kevin would use my idea. And my idea, sorry if you haven't seen the movie, too late.
Okay. That's him, not me.
It's Randall buries Dante in the pet cemetery. I would sign on for that today.
Night of the Living Clerks. I love this. Yes,
All of you would watch it.
we would all pay top dollar now to see it. Are you kidding me?
I just want to see him in the cooler. You grab a Gatorade and there's Dante.
I'm not even supposed to eat brains today. Brains.
I want to go back to Now You Know real quick. You said that you don't remember filming that. I searched everywhere for this film. Has anybody in here seen Now You Know? Sad. Hold on.
Someone stole it from me.
One reviewer said, "This is the greatest comedy that you will never see."
Well, he was right. Nobody's seen it.
And apparently he's correct. What was it that made you, especially with not wanting to continue in the field, what was it that drew you to want to make your own story, to make your own film anyway?
Just as a lark, I just wrote it. And I gave it to my theatrical agent, who seemed to like it. And we sent it out around town. I think it went to like 50 different companies, and 40 of them I had a meeting with. It got optioned one time, and it didn't get made. And literally like the day, well, it was maybe the week the option ended, I met some guys that had money and wanted to make a movie. And just like that, they gave me money, and I went ahead and made it.
Wow.
It's a weird thing though, like I did the movie, I think we shot in 2006, and I never followed it up. I just wanted to try it, I did it, it went well, and then I never followed it up afterward, and I'd never been doing cons. So like in the last year I started doing cons, and a lot of people did see it, and they say nice things about it, so I actually just started writing something new. So after 20 years, I make it recommend.
So now all of these people need to go home and watch Now You Know, so that way we can encourage you to finish the script on the next one, right?
Yes.
Perfect. See, that's what you have to do.
I have it on DVD. Does it
2 people, yes!
Well, that means somebody out there has seen it.
Did the person steal it look like that chick back there?
Oh my God!
I watched it in the hotel.
Ah.
That was not my movie.
I think you're confusing it with the movie Now You Ho.
Brian, I watched a wonderful short film of yours that you were in. Jeremy London, I believe, wrote and directed, calling it Monsters Anonymous.
Yeah.
How many people saw Monsters Anonymous?
The same amount that watched your movie. I think it was the trailer that led into your movie.
Anybody want to see a fight?
Do we have to clear out the stage and bring in all the bags
No,
to
it
throw
won't
at
take
each other?
that long.
Oh, okay. There you go. Sorry, I'm lost. I love it.
Don't worry, it's the heat stroke. You'll be all right.
That's what it is. Hopefully, I'll feel better later. Monsters Anonymous, where you get to play Dracula himself.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you? How did Jeremy have you audition for that? Was that something that he was like, I've got this thing for you?
No, he'd been wanting to do this short. The idea is that it's your classic Universal monsters. It's the Wolfman, the Mummy, Frankenstein, Frankenstein's Bride, Dracula,
And
Invisible Man, and they're in modern day, and they're in a therapy group because they're all depressed that modern people don't find them scary anymore. It's all about zombies and viruses and bullshit, and they're like, what the fuck? So it's a very funny, short film about, and they each have their own reason why they bitch, that they're upset and stuff like that. Like just a small snippet that, every time I go to the as Dracula, every time Dracula goes to the supermarket, they're like, look, it's that Count Cocoa Puffs guy, that kind of thing. They're not scary anymore. So it's a very funny short. You can find it on YouTube called Monsters Anonymous. And it's very, very cute. And Jeremy London wrote it. And when he wrote it, he thought of me in mind, apparently. And he kept pitching me the idea. I'm like, it's an awesome idea, but I don't know if the time frame that he wanted to do it, I was doing other things. So then when I finally saw him and said yes to his face, we were at Pensacon actually in Florida in 2016, and I went right up to him and was like, by the way, my answer is yes. He was like, that's awesome. And then he got funding from a bunch of people, and we made it down in Mississippi. And it was really a lot of fun, to the point where we wanted to make a sequel, or even like a 6-part web series of it, where you'd follow each monster in their daily lives.
Nobody saw the first one. Why are you gonna make a sequel?
It actually went around to, like, this con has its
It
own
won an
film.
award.
It won bunches of awards at different film festivals for sure. Listen, just because you had a bad idea doesn't mean everybody had. Oh, what, too soon?
There's gonna be a fight.
Too soon? I think it was 2007 when the movie came out, and this came out not that long ago. So yeah, so it was good. It was a fun ride. I would do it again in a heartbeat. And Jeremy had a blast doing it. So we'll see. They have an idea for other episodes.
Wonderful. I hope to see more, because you're Dracula in a tracksuit with a cape.
Yeah.
Is the funniest look I've ever seen.
It was kind of Soprano-esque. I loved it.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
I know both of you started out as theater actors in local theater, correct? You were working with or working alongside people who were? Yet not
This
at all.
guy has no idea who I am.
I don't know. I bought a toilet from him once.
Oh.
Yeah, remember that?
He's joking about Anderson
And-
toilets.
Oh,
yeah.
That's all. It was.
He was not a theater person.
No. Okay. How did you come about the audition process for Clerks? Knowing that a lot of the people did come from the local theater area to go and audition for this.
Yeah. Originally, I went to high school with Kevin, so I knew him in high school. And originally, the part of Dante was supposed to be played by a friend of mine. So I went to the auditions with my friend just to throw shit at him. And he was terrible. And I told him he was terrible. And then he was like, oh, I'm so bad, you get up there and audition. And I did. And I I got the part.
Funny enough, though, the lines, the sides they gave Jeff to audition was for
Jay.
right.
At the time, yeah, it was, Kevin wrote the part, and when we were in the auditions, I said, my buddy told me I have to audition, what should I do? And he said, I wrote this part for Jay, but Jay is so nervous, I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. So you're going to be my fallback Jay. I was like, all right, so I auditioned. I think it's on the Clerks 10th anniversary thing.
Clerks, actually, yeah.
I had never looked at the script before. I didn't know anything about it, and I auditioned for Jay. It was funny too, because when we were back there shooting Clerks 3, like the cast for Clerks was supposed to be completely different. My friend was supposed to play Dante, who's actually the trainer in Clerks.
Rick Darris.
He was actually supposed to be Dante. Kevin was supposed to be Randall. I might have been Jay, and the guy who says 37 in a row, the guy who says in a row, that was supposed to be Silent Bob. So when we were back there shooting Clerks 3, we were all there, and I said, Kevin, let's do a scene where we're all the originals. And Kevin didn't like that idea. I was like, come on! He didn't like it.
I would pay good money for an extra Blu-ray DVD scene of just you guys in different roles.
Don't worry. AI will fucking have that up there. If I see another fucking Wes Anderson version of some bullshit on my YouTube feed, I'm gonna fucking pull my eyes out. I want to see a Kevin Smith version of The Matrix. I think that'd be funny. You know what I mean? Yo, what up, fucking Neo? We're gonna go tripping his balls in the Matrix, yo. Here, just instead of the red pill, blue pill, it'll be like, smoke this bowl or suck this joint. What do you want?
Did you say suck this joint?
She said suck this
Is that something new?
Yeah,
What all the kids are saying now.
Joints. Would you show me that?
no, apparently it's a Sacramento thing. Some kids were like, yo, you want to go suck a joint?
I've heard it.
I guarantee you by tomorrow, some of these t-shirt fucking vendors are gonna be like, suck this joint! Fucking sell out, I guarantee you.
Dash Dante.
I guarantee you I'm on the news tonight for sucking a joint.
I haven't said that. You probably have.
Oh, by the way, if you have kids in the audience, I'm so fucking sorry. We should have warned you.
It's okay. He watches the movies.
He's got a filthier mouth than me. Suck this joint, Mom.
Making Jeff proud.
There you go.
Originally, I was supposed to be joined up here by another host to host this panel alongside me, and she shared a story. I'm going to bring her up here to share this story real quick. Ashley, come here. One of our other panel hosts, Ashley, here for her. Look at that. Look at Brian's mic.
Oh, thank you, Brian.
Suck that mic.
So our funny story is we were watching the Clerks movies and we were watching Clerks 3, and when Dante has his meltdown in the quick stop before other things take place, for those that haven't seen it, there's quite a few F-bombs dropped in there, and my 2.5, almost 3-year-old was sitting there, and he looked at my husband and said, fuck, and then just went back and started watching the movie. So you encouraged my son his first F-bomb, and we think that's fantastic.
At least he didn't ask you what snowballs were. You got up easy.
That's more of a junior high question, not a 2-year question.
Meanwhile, in daycare, during playing with blocks, Susie, what the fuck?
Suck my joint.
Taking it back.
Ours. I want to know, Brian, when you read Clerks 3 and you saw the fate of your character, what was your first response? Were you, okay, we're done? Or was it, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening now?
I was a little sad. It's funny because I got the script emailed to me, and then literally what a normal human being would take to read a movie of that length. Like, I was maybe in the halfway point, and he texted me, so? I'm like, yo, like, easy there, Evelyn Wood School of fucking Reading. I'm not that fast. And if you got that Evelyn Wood joke, you are old. And so I finished it and I told him, you know, you had me crying there, and I could see where you're going with this. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to carry on the way it was, but in the end I thought it was a good button. And now I'm like, yo, this is great. Now I can finally do the fucking Lord of the Rings movies I've been saying, no, I can't. I'm committed to the View Askew universe. I just can't, Peter, not yet.
Even Dante walks in those movies.
Yes. That would be funny though, like a Lord of the Rings, but casting all of the View Askew characters. Yeah. That'd be funny. So I guess it would be me as Frodo, Samwise Gamgee would be probably Randall, and then, you know, Merry and Pippin is probably Jay and Silent Bob.
Somebody got physically excited at you saying that comment.
Stan Lee as Gandalf. Right?
So now you're just pitching every other movie. We've got Night of the Living Clerks.
Hey man, I'm out of work. I don't know if you fucking saw the movie. I gotta come up with some sort of bullshit.
I do want to talk to you about, so in the original Clerks, as many people probably already know, the original ending that was supposed to happen for the first Clerks, wrapping it up, two films, a cartoon series, a comic book, and all these things later, we get to Clerks 3, and the fate of Dante is still at the quick stop. How did you feel coming full circle to where in '94 you were supposed to find your end in quick stop, and now here you are?
Sure. How many levels in the Dante's Inferno book? It's the end of the book. Close the book. So, you know, that's Dante. Dante went through his Inferno, and here we are.
Little did they know, if they would have killed Randall in the original, we'd be watching Clerks 49 right now.
True.
Because they kept having to wait for you. What did he promise? What did he say? What did he offer you to get you to say yes both times?
He just told me to suck his joint. Like, Jeff, get over here and suck my joint.
You know how they don't have Rocky movies anymore? Now it's Creed.
Yes.
Like, it would be like Bob. And if you've seen Kevin do An Evening with Kevin Smith, that's pretty much it. Bob speaks for hours.
Bob for an hour.
And hours.
You
And
have-
hours.
You have been, Brian, to quite a few cons. Jeff, you said that you just started going to cons. What are, beyond cons, but just in everyday life, what are some strange fan encounters that you've had? Is there anything odd? Has somebody shown you a body part that you're tattooed on? What is that kind
I'll
of
take
thing?
this one.
Yeah.
Okay!
He's got good body part ones.
I was at a con, and a girl came up to me, very nice girl, and she said, I just got to share a story with you. I go, ooh, do tell. She said, I had a cyst on my ovary, and I had it removed, and I named it Randall. I like that.
In a way it fits, because it's like a mini abortion.
Did she-
Oh, what? The cyst now has to have its own rights? Fucking people.
Have you had any strange fan encounters at all, or is there anything that stands out to you?
This is one I've told the story before. If you've heard it before, I apologize. There was a time where Kevin would have his own film festival in Jersey called Vulgarthons, where he'd show, you know, the original Clerks, and he'd show other movies that he produced and things like that. And one time, you know, you'd meet in the lobby and you'd sign things for fans and hats and whatnot. And then one time there was a guy, you know, you line up, oh, here's a VHS tape, and the next guy, oh, here's a DVD. And this dude's like, hey man, I have something for you to sign. Do you mind signing? I'm like, yeah, sure. Next thing, he goes into his messenger bag. Remember when messenger bags was a big thing back in the day? The man person. Anyway, so he gets into his, and no one had a bike. They were not delivering messages. They just had fucking messenger bags. So he pulls out of his messenger bag, puts in front of me, 2-foot black double-ended dildo. He's like, mind signing that? I was like, what? So I was like, sure. So I had like a silver Sharpie. Oh no, you're holding onto it. And literally I was like, and we take a photo with it, like, weird. Years go by. I'm working on this film in Philadelphia called Miss December, about a guy who kills a girl a month, takes pictures of their corpse in a bloody way, and then puts it out at this calendar called, Calendar. So we're on the set, waiting for a setup of a film, and I'm sitting there, and the producers are around, and I'm sitting in the your usual high chairs waiting for the setup. And he's like, his name is Tommy, and he's like, hey, Bri, how's things going? I'm like, good, this film's going really well. I like it. He goes, by the way, we've met before. We talked about this film. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, we met at a Vulgarthon. I'm like, oh, because we had like 5 of them. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Which year? He says the year. He goes, yeah, you signed something for me too. I'm like, oh, cool. Like I had a DVD, whatever. He goes, oh no, remember the 2-foot black dildo? I was like, that was you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, holy shit, I'm working for the 2-foot black dildo guy. Okay. And so I said to him, so where do you have the 2-foot black dildo? He goes, I don't know, I lost it. I was like, lost it? In who? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, wow. So this is a story for all you people who want to get out in the industry and do things that you want to create. Someday, when you pursue your dreams, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Brian, this has gone on long enough.
You may.
I got something for you.
You may. No.
I was about to say, somebody here found it.
If you work hard enough, someday you could be as famous that somewhere out there is a 2-foot black dildo with your name on it.
Now, I've heard that story before, but I just heard for the first time that it was double-ended. Fascinating.
What else are you going to do but sign that when somebody puts it in front of you? You can't.
You call the cops? I don't know. You run
If
for
it
your
was
life?
in regular public.
Keep it away from Jay. That's what you do.
True. But I mean, you're talking about someone who did a movie called Vulgar. I was like,
All right, yeah.
nothing new to me. Here we go.
You all have heard my voice long enough. I know you have your own questions to ask, so let's go ahead and open it up. Ashley has a microphone over here. Raise your hand if you've got a question. She'll come sauntering over to you slowly enough because it's way too hot to run.
Hi.
Hi. So my question is for Brian.
Uh-oh.
So now that we've talked about Dante's sad end, I just have to say that was heartbreaking for me. I love Dante. I've related to him since I got into this universe, and to see it in like that was traumatizing.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, would you, if you could do it all over again, would you do another round of Clerks?
Oh, in a heartbeat. I mean, if you watch the film, there's another character who shows up that you thought, oh, I thought they weren't around. So yeah, if Kevin writes in a way where comes back as a Force ghost, I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'm there. It plays in the Viewers Universe world. There's a part of the movie I was like, well, why didn't he show up as a Force ghost? And he's like, I'm not getting fucking sued by fucking Disney. So yeah, I would come back in a heartbeat. To be honest with you, we are heavily trying to push the reboot of the cartoon series.
You apologize that your girlfriend sucked 37 dicks in a row.
Yeah, well, that was leading up to me. You know what I mean? So if she
Those
needed
weren't dicks, they were joints.
Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Hi guys. Not knowing if there's going to be a Clerks 4, and I'm not spoiling anything for Clerks 3. As much as we loved everything with Dante, my question actually is for Randall. Why was there no love interest for Randall?
Thank you. When I first got the script, that's the first thing I did was zip through it to see if Randall had a love interest.
Because I thought that would be the movie.
There was actually an earlier version of Clerks 3. There was a different script than the one we shot. And in that version, Randall did have a love interest.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about Kinky Kelly?
Did you read that script? Yeah, but no, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it would have been, I think Sarah Silverman was being bandied about as who would play the love
Well, the
interest.
first person they went out to was Marissa Tomei.
Oh.
And then...
Because her clock is ticking like this.
Never mind. Yeah.
Right on.
So other hands?
Hi guys, just wondering, this is not about Clerks, do either of you have a favorite pro wrestler?
Andre the Giant?
That's a solid answer.
I saw him wrestle when I was a kid, so... Yeah.
So did I, yeah.
He fought Blackjack Mulligan in Madison Square Garden.
Holy shit.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Right on. That's a good old school one. I was always fond of the 80s anti-Russia, Iran thing. So between who just passed away, the Iron Sheik, and was it Ivan?
Nikolai
Volkov was always fun to see battle either Hogan or whoever. I always liked that, yeah, go America, fuck yeah, kind of thing, which was very, very funny. And I used to follow him, the Iron Sheik, on Twitter, and he was always so funny on his Twitter, where he's always like, listen here, jabronis, and I was just like, oh my God, this is too funny. So yeah, I always enjoyed it. And it's funny because a lot of these circuits, you see some of the really greats of the wrestling world come around, and I've gotten to meet quite a few of them, and it's just weird because here would be me and my friends as kids watching them, and now here I'm going having drinks with a lot of these guys, and it's just like crazy.
As a follow-up question on that, at these cons and stuff, has there been anybody that you've met that you've been starstruck over, that you're like, holy shit, I'm sitting next to this person? Hold please, uh-oh.
Dallas last weekend.
Yeah?
This picture's not going to play to the crowd.
Uptown girl
Christy
herself.
fucking Brinkley. That is me and Christy Brinkley. She's 69 years old and she looks incredible.
You said,
Oh, please.
You said 69.
He's gotta show this around, hold on, there you go, look at her. Look at her, get a good look. That is what nearly 70 looks like. You good? Okay.
Ask her about Clerks 4?
She's my new love interest.
What about you, Ryan? Anybody that you've been starstruck over?
All right, photo fucking journalists.
Oh!
You can tell the crowd who that is and what we're doing.
Oh my fucking God.
No, who is it?
That is Jesus Christ himself.
Also known as?
Also known as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Also known as Ewan McGregor.
And what are we doing in said photo?
I'm sorry, they are both brandishing lightsabers.
That's right, bitches.
Full on. The force is strong.
If the actor Ahmad Best, who played Jar Jar Binks, can be a fucking Jedi, why not Dante Hicks?
Why not?
I told Christy Brinkley that was a lightsaber.
Did she sign it for you? Sorry, we had other hands up before.
No, he told her to suck his lightsaber.
In the deleted scenes for Clerks 3, there's a series of scenes where I think it's Elias keeps reaching up for a string behind the counter, and then at the very end pulls something dumps what I think is rice on Emma.
Glitter.
What's the story behind that?
Glitter bomb. So literally the opening scene of Clerks 3 was originally, we're doing a customer transaction, and like Dante or either Randall, Dante, I forget who, like just tosses her change while we're in discussion. And it's played by Cecily Strong from Saturday Night Live. And she plays a Karen. She's like, oh my God, could you be any more rude? And we're like, what? She's like, this fucking thing, what are you throwing money at me? And someone, I think Randall goes, oh, here's another Karen. And then she was like, that's sexist and whatever. And he looks at Dante, he goes, is it now a good time? He's like, well, fine, whatever, but I'm not cleaning it up. And so as she's bitching and videotaping us, like reporting us as like being rude and all this other stuff at this bodega, no less, he pulls the string and a shit ton of glitter bomb gets dumped on her. We then, yeah, there you go, fuck those Karens. We then
work for the glitter company? What are you so excited about?
We have a glitter representative here.
So then, repeating that joke when Emma comes back to the Quick Stop to collect her money, after she gets paid the money, they pull the string and glitter bomb Emma, and she walks out. So, since the first joke got cut out of editing, they then had to figure out, because they already shot everything, they had to figure out how to get all the glitter off Jen digitally. So she is pretty much the only CGI in the whole movie, is removing the glitter bomb that had happened to her to get her out of the scene.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
$7 million of the budget went into that.
Yeah.
120,000 just to make the film, the rest glitter removal.
Glitter removal fee. Ashley's got the mic. Who else? I saw another hand towards the middle. Oh.
And then I'll go back to the.
All right, perfect.
Thank you, Ashley. Also, Ashley. Loved your work in The Happening.
Oh, right on. Someone who called my eyes in the mirror.
Totally did. Got a cousin who introduced me to Clerks, texted me right after he saw it, like, oh my God, did you catch his eyes? I did. It's a weird thing. Anyway, so in the original Clerks, it's mostly about friendships and about relationships for the two of you. And was there any truth that you had to pull from in past relationships or past friendships that you kind of let influence your characters that you brought to the screen?
I mean, friendship-wise, I have friendships with people who fucking drive me nuts, but I still am super friends with them because they make my life better in every sense of the word. To draw from that, I mean, otherwise, like, in real life, I am a bit of a people pleaser up to a point, but then get on the wrong side of me, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, man, you know, and I'll fucking turn on you real quick. But, the other thing too is that I'm more of a Randall than anything. I'm a sarcastic fuck.
I haven't noticed that.
Yeah. If you did your research, you would have figured that out. Anyway, see, that's sarcasm. See how it works? Anyway, so otherwise relationships, like, have I had a girlfriend fuck a dead guy? No. Have I had 2 women fight over me? Fuck no. But yeah, you know, I've worked retail. I mean, I drew on that horrible experience. So, but yeah. What about you?
No.
There you go. I think that's it. I think that is his answer.
Hi guys. As somebody who's worked in retail for 10 years, which again totally sucks, especially if you work for big corporations. How was it going from the first film being completely drained to actually having your own business in a sense, still working retail, still having to deal with the same stupid people, but in the end still having your best friend there working with you?
Come on, man, get in here. Get in the game, will you?
Smoking too many joints. I mean, sucking.
He's still looking at that photo on the table.
You said you were sober.
Yeah, no, I don't know what the question was.
Working retail from when we were employees to now owning the store, what did you feel on that one?
It felt the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's explained in the third one, especially for Dante, just coming in every day wanting to kill himself for the most part. They were stuck in this kind of trap, this never-ending trap of, yeah, we may be owning the business, but we then have the responsibility of paying the bills of the business. Which, if anybody's a, you know, private, you know, small store owner yourself, you know that every day you're like, I got lights to pay, I got employees to pay, and hopefully someone walks in my door to buy my wares. Ask any of these vendors, even out here in the room, it's the same kind of feeling. Mm-hmm. So the fact that small business owners exist, that's the heart and blood of the United States and most of the economy, so it's good to see that people still do it. It's a shame that sometimes these malls are losing different businesses, but opportunities come in where they're turning it into event spaces. I've seen cons take over, like I saw the Sears here across the street at the Arden Mall, or down the road at the Arden Mall, is empty. I'm like, this joint could easily take over that space and have a huge store that I believe is air conditioned from what I gather. By the way, that was my end game the entire time, was how do I get these fuckers into an air conditioned building? You know, and then the parking is ample, you can do a lot of things. You don't need catering, you have the fucking food court, you know, that type of thing. So seeing that small business owners are taking advantage of certain retail spaces that open up, you know, like barcades, and I've seen now, like, you know, not laser tag, but actually, like, you know, paintball in the middle of these paintball in the middle of the mall, and it's, you know, it's like Left 4 Dead or, The Last of Us kind of a fucking zombie world, I'm like, I'd play that all day if I was a young kid and in shape.
This actually isn't, it's adjacent to your question. The first original, like I said, there was a different script for Clerks 3 that did not take place at the store. The store actually wasn't even in the script at all. And when I got the new script for it, it made sense that we were back in the store. I've said this before, but the store, I believe, is just as much of a character as Dante and Randall and Jay and Bob.
Yeah.
So I thought the new script, ending it in the store, was a better way to go than
Made
the
perfect
other
sense.
script.
I have one final question for you guys, and then I have to wrap it up, unfortunately. The one final question is, look back. Go all the way back to 92, 93, when you auditioned for Clerks. You have an opportunity to go back and talk to you walking in. What's the one thing you would say to you?
Jeff, don't audition! Please!
You really should check with a lawyer on this one. Really check with a lawyer on this one.
I love it, I love it. Ladies, gentlemen, and all genders in between and outside, let's give it up for Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Hamilton! Don't forget, they are out there at their tables tomorrow. Go buy merch, buy autographs. Make sure they come back by supporting them there. Thank you very much.
We're going right back to our tables now if you want to stop by.